Story 1. I would do nothing with it. My spending habits would not change, and I would be more comfortable knowing that cushion is there. Story 2. I bought my current truck for $4,000 in 2017 and have since invested about $12,000 in repairs. I had to get it fixed twice in the last 3 months. I love my truck, but I need something reliable. Story 3. I would give the money to my wife to help with bills. We are struggling. Life is hard right now for a lot of people. I was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago and have been through the fight. I have been successful while others around me during this time have passed, which is still hard for me to grasp. As much as being diagnosed cancer-free is good news, chemotherapy and lymphoma have taken a toll on me. I have lost my job and all my strength, and I cannot work for now. My wife, who has been caring for me, is now struggling to pay the bills with the little support I get from the government. Rent, food, and pets are a struggle, but it could always be worse. I was diagnosed cancer-free, and I try to keep that in the forefront of my thoughts. I apologize if this comes across as negative. Everyone has issues. Nothing special here. $10,000 can make a difference for many people. Story 4. I hear that it depends on your financial situation. People with limited resources may spend money immediately due to debts or unmet needs. Middle-class individuals tend to save it, perhaps for a vacation or in case their furnace needs replacing. Wealthy individuals typically invest their money, as they do not need it immediately. They prefer to have their money work for them, ideally in investments that provide dividends, allowing for passive income. Story 5. Fix my car, repair my roommate's car, settle some small debts for them, and allocate any remainder towards the next couple of semesters at school. Story 6. The first thing I do is pay the taxes on it. I use the rest to pay off the credit card that was affected this winter. I use what's left to go out for a nice dinner. Story 7. I want to say to put $10,000 towards my mortgage, but honestly, I might use it to leave, given what is happening in the United States. Story 8. I would keep my lips sealed by not telling anyone about it. It also means not spending or doing anything with it right away. Story 9. Pay off the remaining balance on the furnace and deposit the rest on my wife's car loan. This would likely reduce her loan duration by 2.5 years. Story 10. Finish paying all my bills and get a ring for my girlfriend. I'm worried about getting married because if I die, I'll pass my debt to her, so I haven't proposed yet. Story 11. Pay off my $5,000 credit card debt, then the rest is likely going into an index fund. I do not know. I have never had enough money to invest, so I would have to talk with my sister about what the best option is. Story 12. Probably invest it. I don't have any legitimate debt, and $10,000 isn't enough to buy a house. Put it in some investments and come back when I can buy a house. Story 13. Put it in my normal savings and investment accounts. Then be less sad about my lack of a meaningful raise this year. Story 14. Pay off any lingering debt, then invest what is left as wisely as possible so that when I retire, it is not only still there but has grown in size. I do not want a mansion or a fancy car. I just want to live a nice, quiet life somewhere away from the madness. Story 15. Pay off my $5,000 credit card debt, then the rest is likely going into an index fund. I do not know. I have never had enough money to invest, so I would have to talk with my sister about what the best option is. Story 16. $10,000 tax-free can nearly get me through a year of living. It would relieve me of my worries for about a year. Story 17. Honestly, the first thing would be to get some food. I would upgrade from bologna to ham, and then I would head 3 hours to the auction site today to inspect all the flood trucks to see if there is anything worth getting. The first one would be to make money, and then 2 or more for the profit and repayment. I am debating on selling my penny collection, which has some errors. Nothing special like the 1922 or 1955 double die obverse, but the 1955 coins I have look beautiful, and I'm curious how they would grade. However, I would never pay the price unless it was for a significant error like the 1955 double die obverse. Mine just have blobs on some of the 5. Story 18. Thank you. I have $8,000 in credit card debt after a back injury. That would settle the bank and my brother. Story 19. Buy food and electricity and get the necessary items for me to return to work. I am currently hoping for a miracle like that. Story 20. Thank them, probably while crying profusely. Pay off my debts and put whatever is left into a savings account for my son. Story 21. Thank them for the money, then pay off debt or go on a shopping spree for clothes and buy running shoes. Story 22. I need to get a new car since the one I bought 6 months ago just stopped working, and fixing it will cost more than half of what I paid for it, which is frustrating. Story 23. Say thanks and put it in the bank, then return to work. If you are doing anything other than that, you are the problem in your life that you think money would solve. Story 24. Pay off one credit card and my personal loan. That should start the snowball effect, and I will have the rest of my debt eliminated within a year. Story 25. The first thing I would do is acquire 32 rental properties, renovate them, and increase their value significantly. Then I would double that value and repeat the process. By the end of the day, I would be relaxing in a sauna on my private island, writing 3 bestsellers on how to become a billionaire. Story 26. Open a Charles Schwab online investing account, purchase stocks with high-yield dividends, and have the dividends reinvested automatically. Story 27. Thank them, then see if I still have a chance to study abroad this summer. If not, I will get a high-yield savings account to wait for the next registration period. I would also use a portion of the funds to buy a Nikon camera and a good lens. After the study abroad program, I will be paying off the 2 loans I took out to cover part of my tuition. Story 28. Thank you to whoever gave it to me. I will donate to St. Jude's and pay some bills that desperately need to be paid. Nothing extravagant. Story 29. Deposit it. Thank them. Move it over to my high-yield savings account. Yes, it's not very exciting, but I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. This is an extra paycheck and it will go into savings. Story 30. Ask what the catch was. I don't know anyone with the ability to give out that much without it being suspicious. The gifts in my family are more along the lines of treating someone to dinner somewhere without a drive-through window. Story 31. Buy presents for everyone I love. Every present will be thoughtful and appreciated. Then, I will buy something for myself because I am human and, therefore, greedy but nothing excessive or outrageous. Finally, I will donate whatever remains to an animal rescue organization that does great work. I will also contribute to any fundraiser that needs urgent funds. Have a blessed day. Story 32. Normally, it would go straight into my investment account, but right now, I am actually going to change jobs and I will need to buy a car. Therefore, that amount will go towards that goal. Story 33. Thank them, and then pay off the remainder of my car loan. It's the only debt I have at the moment, and I would immediately save over $300 a month. Story 34. Well, I'm getting 4 dental implants next week that cost around that amount, so I'll be able to avoid the credit impact. I would donate the rest to a local charity. Story 35. Say thank you and then deposit it. Once I am steadily employed again, I will consider using it for something more enjoyable. Story 36. I sincerely thank whoever gave it to me. Then, I will take my old dog to the veterinarian and find an affordable 1-story apartment for us since we are all old now and struggling with the stairs. Additionally, our ceiling is leaking in 3 places, and the management refuses to make repairs. Story 37. I am currently saving for surgery to fix my rescued kitten's sideways butthole. We were waiting for the tax refund, but if I had the money, he would go today. Story 38. Get my dog into consistent training, take my elderly cat for a full medical examination, afford my hormone specialist and other specialists I haven't been able to see due to financial constraints, and purchase a bicycle and a car. I have been relying on public transport for too long. Story 39. Pay off a few things, then either keep half to start for a deposit or obtain training and qualifications to advance in my career. Move out of general IT and pursue something more specialized. It is absurd that paying off half would clear my short-term debt and save approximately $300 per month. Interest rates are unfavorable. Story 40. Please pay back my savings. Due to a challenging year of emergency house repairs and unexpected medical bills, my credit card balance reached 11,000, and the interest payments were overwhelming. I withdrew from my savings to pay it off. Now, I am dedicating half of my paychecks to repaying my savings to have a better cushion in case of emergencies. However, I did earn a significant amount of credit card points. Story 41. Save 70% or reinvest it somehow. Consider a high-yield savings account, then pay off any debts with the remaining 30%. If you have money left after that, treat yourself to something nice. Story 42. After I ensure there are no stipulations or exceptions, all money is free and clear for me to use as I wish. I would express my gratitude and ask why. I would then take a portion of it to pay my mortgage. I would allocate another portion to donate to charity. Story 43. It would greatly assist my mental health. I am financially struggling and hard of hearing, so it would help me purchase hearing aids. I might also buy a car to transport my elderly mother or save the money to buy the house we dream of. 10,000 US dollars is a significant amount in my country. Story 44. Buying a car and getting rid of my roommate. I dislike sharing my space, and it is negatively affecting my mental health. Story 45. Pay off my credit card balance. I made some bad financial decisions because I have $15,000 in credit card debt. When the bank calls, I tell them I can't pay it back yet. Story 46. I will just add it to my line of credit to pay off the heat pump I had to replace. This will help save on interest. Story 47. Trip to Portugal. I have never been, but I want to explore it. Could be the next place I live, so I figure I should spend some time there. Story 48. Should I send them pictures of my feet? I hear that's a popular internet currency. I would thank them very much and then use the money to take my sister on a much-needed vacation that she hasn't been able to enjoy in a decade. I would also save some of it and donate $1,000 to a cat shelter. Story 49. Thank them and ask for proof of their gift. I would then pay off my student loans, buy food, have my tooth extracted, and save the remaining amount. I would use my savings to apply for a visa in my partner's country once he completes his studies. Story 50. Thank them for their generosity, then address some bad debt due to a series of unfortunate events. My wife had to quit her job because of mental health issues. I lost my mother a year later, and I underwent major surgery all within an 18-month span, which really tested our limitations. Story 51. Put it in a 4% savings account or certificate of deposit and take my time thinking it over. There is no rush to act as long as the inflation rate is less than the available interest rates. Story 52. Fix my teeth or start figuring out what my lingering chest and shoulder pain, which has been building for 5 years, is about. Story 53. Give me 10,000, and I will link whoever is willing to do it. 10,000 can help you avoid paying rent for a cheap apartment in Minnesota for a year or more. Story 54. I contacted a few friends, a designer, an artist, and a coder, to hire them for assistance in designing a website. They are all currently in minimum wage jobs, so $10,000 would be very helpful. Story 55. Pay off all my debts. That would probably use most, if not all, of it, even trying to negotiate with the collection agencies and paying a fraction of the costs. Story 56. $10,000 is a good buffer for saving or improving quality of life, such as a gym membership and healthy food that could last you 2 years. This amount can also be invested in your health, like supplements, or you could consider building a home gym. Story 57. Say thank you. I plan to get some snacks I like and stick them in my fridge. I've been looking at a monitor and chair for my PlayStation 5, so I will probably get my setup ready and put the rest in savings. Story 58. This is probably going to happen to me right away. Our union is negotiating a new contract. I will vote on it tonight, and there is a $10,000 signing bonus included. I believe it will be taxed, but still. My plans are to buy a new computer and the materials to build my own custom computer desk for it. Story 59. In an alternate universe, pay off some debt. In this world, pay rent a month in advance, which amounts to $3,000. Allocate $5,000 to debt repayment. Spend $1,000 on unnecessary items and then gamble $1,000. Story 60. Find out the reason why the person gave the money away or to me, then determine how to pay it forward in a more meaningful way. Story 61. Living in San Francisco, I would submit a 1099-R to the Internal Revenue Service, paying over 50% in taxes. I would then watch the money go toward harm reduction for the unhoused. Story 62. I would just save it. There is nothing I want to buy, and I would not want to spend it all just because I now have it. Story 63. I would give it to a friend of mine who could desperately use the money to prevent bankruptcy. I don't have a spare $10,000 to give, but if I received $10,000 for free, that's the first thing I would do with it. Story 64. Coming from a developing country, 10% of that would pay off my debt, allowing me to finally get the medical help I need. I would then invest and donate the rest. I believe the purpose of life is to impact the world, and I feel that would be my start. Story 65. Say thank you. You have changed my life. I will organize how I am going to repay you. Then I will get my dog a huge rotisserie chicken to eat while I call and pay off my debts. Story 66. This may seem dull, but place it in a high-interest savings account to use as an emergency fund. I am currently building mine up, and this will help me reach my target. Story 67. Pay ahead on my rent and bills for a couple of months. Then I would drive up with my children to Washington and see my beautiful nieces and sister-in-law. Story 68. I need to get dental work done on my aching tooth, save for real estate and personal property taxes, and buy a computer to learn updated programs for a better job. I would also purchase a better winter coat and be able to pay the veterinarian bill. That would amount to almost $10,000. Story 69. Get my daughter a reliable used car for work and college. I will thank the person who gave me the $10,000. Story 70. I would go to sleep in peace knowing I wouldn't need to worry about paying rent for this year and next year. $10,000 is almost 60,000 reais, which is a significant amount of money. This would even cover 1/4 of a good house. Story 71. Give it back. It has to be some kind of scam, and I wouldn't feel comfortable taking it from someone I knew. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.